But to segue into something that you were saying before, CJ. So I had a question. This is going back in late 2020, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question that was like, why, it's when we had Amphis, Torsos, and Express, and the question was like, hey, like, why do you have Express on when you got these up and coming kids? Surely you just replace him. And just for those that don't know the context, Amphis, very highly mechanical player. Tors, still in that contention of being a very top mechanical player as well. And you could see that Express, mechanically wise, wasn't in the same tier. Like, he had mechanics, don't get me wrong, he could still hit the ball, but he wasn't in that same caliber that you see like with an Amphis and stuff. And one of my answers was, it's like, well, I value what he brings to the team because he still made it to the top in spite of not having those mechanics. Clearly he's found a niche that's working for him, and I see that really valuable to bring to the team, right? Like, I love how unique players are. They have like different ideals. What's the best way to play? What do I value more? Am I going to work on these things versus these, right? And as Sathi really well pointed out, sometimes it is painting a picture, like combining these things. And I find that some of these players that don't like, their method isn't, so long as I can triple flip reset and 1v3 the whole team, I'm doing a great job. There are some players that are like, well, they've worked out another dimension to make it to the top. And I think if you can tap into that and synthesize that with your team, it's really quite valuable. Valuable, sorry. But if there are, obviously there are limitations that, you can't have bronze mechanics and just be like, have the world's best communication. There has to be some level of balance. But I certainly value when there's some differentiation, there's some diversity in how players view and play and value the game.
Yeah. I just think it's so hard. It's like so hard to quantify, I guess, what you need. How do you as coaches then, if you're not performing, how do you find the problem areas? What do you say? Is it sometimes obvious? Is it like, okay, we need, like, what's going on with our communication? What's going on with our mentals in the bin? Or is it sometimes like, wait, why are we not winning? Like, is it hard to figure out sometimes?
I'll put it to you that, the CJ Rocket League is not that insanely hard strategically compared to other esports. It's very cut and dry, like what's in front of you to find problems. Usually I have a formula that I narrow down, why are we messing up, or what exactly are we messing up, and then I check that box. I'm like, okay, let's fix that. It's not about oh my god, they are doing something magical with the ball. It's no, it's just a lot of issues that we have, whether it be communications, how we're rotating. It's not very difficult in that sense, I think.
Yeah, Rob's nailed it. It's easy to, especially if you're not, again, tending to it, to kind of get lost in other aspects of it, but it's usually pretty straightforward. And that's, you had asked earlier about Gen G and looking at, is Gen G doing something exceptionally crazy? It's more so looking at, okay, they're playing this situation right, or they're playing this aspect of the game right. What are we doing wrong, or where had we lost it at some point, and aren't continuing like they are. I think I agree with Rob. It's pretty straightforward with the meta, at least currently. The meta can change from time to time. We've gone through a couple of them, but I think a lot of people have kind of revolved around a certain way to play as of recent, especially in EU and NA, and I think it's pretty cut and dry on what's right and what's wrong currently.
I've always said Rocket League is very rock, paper, scissors. If you know someone's booming the ball, you're not gonna just press up.
Yeah.
You know someone's gonna catch the ball. You're not gonna let them have space. It's very
Right.
simple.
Yeah.